Okay, so forget everything you think you know about solid ground. We're about to dive into a truly radical idea that's moving from the pages of science fiction into actual reality. Entire cities just floating on the surface of the water? Let's see how this is even possible.
Just let that question sink in for a minute. Seriously, what if the ground beneath our homes, our schools, our entire lives wasn't solid at all? Imagine a community that doesn't fight the ocean, but literally rises and falls with the tides. That's the huge idea we're exploring today.
So, is this all just a cool fantasy, or is it the future? Well, a lot of very smart people are looking at this as the next real frontier in how we build our world.
The whole concept actually has a name, aquatic urbanism. And you know, the two most important words here are resilient and adaptive. This isn't just about building houses that don't get wet. Resilience here means creating places that are basically immune to things like coastal erosion or storm surges. It's about designing cities that can actually respond to our changing climate, forcing us to completely rethink how we live by the coast.
And believe me, this isn't just a theory on a whiteboard. People have been doing this for centuries, and today's innovators are pushing the boundaries further than ever before.
I mean, we have to start in the Netherlands, right? For hundreds of years, their whole approach wasn't just to fight the water with bigger and bigger walls, it was to live with it. Floating homes are already a pretty common sight over there. They didn't just lay the groundwork for the engineering, they established a whole philosophy.
Now let's jump to a new kind of pioneer, one that's being driven by pure necessity. For a super low-lying nation like the Maldives, rising sea levels aren't a future problem. They're an existential crisis happening right now. For them, aquatic urbanism isn't just some interesting experiment. It's a potential lifeline for their entire country.
And this is where that philosophy and that urgent necessity collide in one of the most ambitious projects on the entire planet, the Maldives floating city. And just to be clear, this is not some small-scale test. It's a vision for an entire urban center. 20,000 people. Let that number sink in. That's the planned population for this city. I mean, think about it. That's bigger than many towns on dry land, but this one will float entirely within a lagoon. The sheer scale of this ambition is just staggering.
So the big question, how does this whole thing actually work? Well, the engineering is kind of brilliant in its simplicity. As you can see in step 1, it all starts with these modular hexagonal pieces, which also pack in all the infrastructure like power and utilities. Then, for step 2, these units are all linked together, creating a stable grid that acts like the city's streets and blocks. And finally, the magic step 3. The entire structure is anchored to the seabed, but in a way that allows it to just gently rise and fall with the natural tide. It doesn't fight the ocean, it just moves with it.
And it's so important to understand that this is being designed as a complete urban ecosystem. We are not just talking about houses. The vision includes everything: vibrant public squares, schools, shops, even hospitals, all connected by canals and walkways. The goal isn't just to float, it's to create a real, thriving, self-sufficient community right there on the water. So the engineering is one thing, that's incredible. But the implications of all this? That's something else entirely. Building cities on water could fundamentally change our entire concept of what property even is.
This right here is the truly disruptive question. The term real estate is literally tied to physical land. For thousands of years, owning land has been the foundation of wealth, of power, of society itself. So what happens when that foundation is no longer solid ground, but water?
This is a complete paradigm shift. I mean, just imagine owning a home where its value isn't tied to a specific plot of earth, but to its place within a floating, maybe even mobile, community. It challenges everything we think we know about location, ownership, and what it even means to put down roots. And all of this leaves us with a final, massive question. Is the floating city just a really unique solution for a very specific problem? Or is this an early blueprint, a first draft for how all of us might need to live on a planet that's becoming more and more defined by its water? It's definitely something to think about.